Nutrition. Nutrition is actually one of the most intriguing and captivating subjects, challenging our notion that we can sustain ourselves without the necessity of eating and nourishment. To sustain oneself by consuming the sun or solely relying on the Holy Spirit, impressions, or any other form of sustenance, in reality, this notion is incorrect and lacks factual basis. I believe that prior to transitioning to any other form of diet, an individual should have a thorough understanding of what it entails, as well as the components of nutrition. Nutrition is mainly about acquiring specific information and incorporating it into one's own structure and functioning. We must have a clear understanding that, of course, coarse food, which refers to what we consume, whether it is meat or any other type of sustenance, that is to say, the food we ingest is absorbed into our organism through the digestive system, and our organism can be regarded as an extraordinary, marvelous, let's say, factory that produces various divine fruits, as well as high-level and low-level energies that play a significant role in our overall well-being and vitality. Each individual produces their own energies for themselves, so to speak, as the owner of their own energies, so to speak. From the perspective of energy, from the perspective of spirit, from the perspective of inner essence and organization, and depending on your internal organization, the energies you produce are actually intended for that specific spectrum, that particular level, those specific beings, those divine entities, those essential qualities that are intricately connected to you and your existence. In reality, they determine desires, they determine emotions, they determine certain internal states, moods, as well as some internal messages and various other aspects of our psychological experience. Something in general, yes, what happens to a person is determined by those divine essences that a person works with. Accordingly, in my perspective, yes, the core is optimistic, the core that bestows vitality, fosters progress and advancement, yes, specific artistic talents, yes, they typically afford an individual with conditions in which they can create, in which they can navigate through life in a positive manner. And conversely, in the essence of destruction, in the essence of certain destructive low states, deep, as I previously mentioned, the rumble of such a helicopter in combat can be heard resonating through the air. These are beings of a different kind who also control people and provide those very situational sequences, those very processes in which a person heroically destroys or fights something there. In line with this concept, the idea that you are what you consume is a valuable one to keep in mind. However, in actuality, it is imperative to comprehend that nutrition is akin to a multi-layered pie, consisting not only of food, but also of water, a specific liquid that we consume for sustenance and hydration. It is also important what kind of water it is, how it is structured, charged, whether there are any positive or destructive programs in this water, what kind of air, how a person breathes, whether they breathe this air consciously or unconsciously. And ultimately, there are particular emotions, impressions that an individual also undergoes in a specific manner or fashion. The body of emotions feeds. It is important what kind of body of emotions it is, whether it is overloaded with certain emotions, or it can truly absorb these emotions and transform them into even higher frequency energies. And the ultimate form of impressions that an individual consumes is mental, a type of mental nourishment that an individual comprehends every single second of existence on this planet. This is a certain life experience. What I was talking about earlier is an inevitable spiritual growth. Whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, every second you are gaining new impressions. Every second you are experiencing your spiritual journey. You are growing thanks to the arrival of new information. Each second you recognize and acknowledge this incredible divine symbol that reflects and mirrors the true reality back to you. You think that all this is actually happening, you see it. And because you see it, because you experience it, your soul, gaining this experience, acquires an experience against which it can somehow build itself. Nutrition, it is not about going to McDonald's or adopting a vegetarian diet. It is about consuming nourishing and spiritually significant food. It is about the way you choose to live your life. The emotions and mental aspects that you pass through yourself reflect a greater depth of your true essence and provide valuable insights into your authentic self. So, what you represent is much more about mental sustenance, emotional sustenance, rather than physical sustenance. In other words, the sustenance that is for the body, it is essentially for the body's well-being and overall health. And the nourishment that is for the soul, it is for the soul. Consequently, by stating that you are what you consume, one can essentially underscore this. Yes, that is indeed accurate. If we possess an understanding in the coordinate system that we consume various types of food with different bodies at different levels, that food is not solely about what we put in our mouths and digest in our stomachs. Well, then I desire to dispel, of course, the notion that meat is detrimental and all that. As for me, of course, friends, all the yoga, ahimsa, I also went through all of that myself, and I understand you well. If my time when I was standing on my head for 3.5 minutes, doing exercises, breathing, sitting in lotus position, meditating, yes, as they say, 2 hours every day. And in the event that someone informed me that meat is, fundamentally okay, I would never listen to that individual. However, I arrived at the conclusion that what is more important is the depth of your self-observation, the authenticity with which you exist, and the willingness you possess to undergo the experiences that grant you true reality. To what extent can you realistically modify the structures and constructions that define you in actuality? That is of significant importance and holds great relevance. This is actually of great importance, whether you indulged in a juicy burger patty or savored a delectable schnitzel, some flavorful deli meat, or enjoyed the freshness of tomatoes, cucumbers, or any other tasty option. Well, you have indeed consumed something, and now your body can efficiently carry out its essential processes in its own unique and intricate way. You see how your body reacts to emotions, you see how your internal system reacts in general, even your breathing. You can observe your breath, but at the same time not control it. So this already indicates that there is a specific quality, that certain particles have been attained in the formation of this inner honey, implying that you have synthesized it, and now this honey, it is as though it is concentrating and undergoing growth. That is, a part of knowledge is already available to you, you have somehow acquired it. Moreover, everyone who acquires knowledge becomes a little strange. That is, the one who has knowledge will see another who has knowledge, people recognize each other, and vice versa. An individual lacking knowledge, observing someone possessing knowledge, would likely remark, that person is a bit peculiar. But in order to comprehend that there is truly something present, you must possess something of your own. When it comes to food, it is an exceedingly intricate matter, because all individuals, as I previously stated, are unique, each at their own point of advancement in a worldwide context, a progression of karmic cause and effect connections, cycles of rebirth and regional occurrences. When an individual in this existence guides themselves into specific, intricate, mental, convoluted systems, not primarily through deeds, but through self-arrangement. And in this it resides, experiences pain from this, communicates from this, and situates itself from this. And as I have already mentioned, in my view, it is more crucial not what a person consumes, but how they can navigate their way out of these intricate situations. And depending on the level of entanglement a person is presently experiencing, it can be stated that one can achieve the desired outcome by imposing restrictions on a person's access to any form of sustenance or nourishment, including all types of food and beverages. To this specific person, let us say, a particular experience is already enough and completely satisfactory in every possible way. This food of these experiences is already everything. Overload, a person is overloaded, that's it, no more, not possible. This person can really go hungry. That is, we see that fasting for a week, nothing will happen, it's fine. This individual truly needs, to meditate with eyes closed. In fact, everyone needs this, Some individuals need it, especially for maintaining mental and physical health. We see that a person can be so overloaded that if they don't start taking care of themselves now, everything will spill out. Some things will be scattered on the other side of the table. Something else will irritate. Someone will walk differently, look differently, say something different, and all of this will emotionally explode, and the person will suffer. What is not digested inside in the emotional body will splash out onto other people, will splash outwards. In reality, each individual possesses an ample amount of strength, energy, particularly when they maintain a healthy and proper diet. They have the ability to exert influence, at the very least, on themselves. The very fact of influencing oneself will be a change in oneself. Changing oneself involves changing life, changing the quality of life, changing, in fact, situational series, because a person has reached a new stage in their development. So friends, food is needed. Whether you want it or not, every second you absorb reality with your perception. So nourish yourself. You cannot not nourish yourself. That is a fact. So as long as you are alive, this reality in you gets filled with sensations, feelings, and information. Actually, sensations, feelings, this is information just of a different level that we don't immediately understand verbally. In other words, it cannot be translated into words and particular symbols that are understandable to us. It can be certain nonverbal content, as I refer to it, certain feelings, certain experiences that we can relate to and make sense of. And here is one of the direct experiences related to space, existence, the Creator, and what fills us with oxygen, which we inhale every second into ourselves. That is, our knowledge makes a huge difference between those who breathe consciously and understand that at that moment they are connecting with everything else. This is the holy truth. Through the act of breathing, we connect with God every second. It is through this continuous connection with the divine that we realize our profound interconnection with the universe and experience the awe-inspiring beauty of existence, with life itself. If we do not breathe, we will not live. And through sensations, through emotions, we connect with other essences of a different order. And in the same way, we must and we perceive this information. Perceiving this information, it somehow transforms inside us, again depending on the self-organization that exists in a person. Accordingly, some people consciously breathe, and this transforms in them the energies, the information that they perceive into something truly serious. And other individuals respire and acquire oxygen as well, perhaps even in greater quantities than others do. But he is not consciously aware, and he is not assimilated into those structures. They are not even included, because it is a completely different organization that conducts all this in a completely different kind of energy, let's say, situational series, and human life itself unfolds differently. Hence, buddies, I strongly advise you to read educational literature, enhance and evolve, acquire knowledge, let it nurture inside you and flourish, as it will contribute to your growth and development. Discover the mechanisms, discover the keys that have the ability to synthesize the method within you. If you do not perform this action, I urge you to observe and comprehend the dire circumstances unfolding in our world at this very moment. When individuals lacking a specific level of knowledge are provided with the chance to genuinely transform and take action in this world, the following outcomes occur. Knowledge is the crucial factor. Knowledge is the essential requirement. Read, friends, conduct your experiments, try fasting, try giving up certain foods, try being a vegetarian, eating raw, and so on. But my advice to you, 3.5 years is the limit. Avoid tempting fate. My recommendation is to refrain from going overboard. Simply include small portions of fish and eggs in your diet occasionally. Don't become obsessed. Friends, do not deceive yourselves. Be realists. Be those who learn from their own experience, conduct experiments on themselves, and assess their strengths, their health, their psyche. Be individuals who are honest with themselves, gain knowledge from personal encounters, perform tests on their own being, and objectively evaluate their abilities, well-being, and mental state. And gradually, relying on their successes and failures, gradually achieving their result, they slowly move forward. Like that. Thank you all for your continuous support and encouragement throughout this journey.